In the heart of the lush Miti highlands, the rain fell steadily, drenching the village of Uzuri. The rhythmic patter of raindrops on thatched roofs filled the air, mingling with the earthy aroma of wet soil. Inside one of the mud brick huts, a young girl named Nia sat by the window, her chin resting on her knees as she watched the world outside blur under the rain. Her bright eyes, usually alight with mischief, were clouded with restlessness. Her older brother, Omori, sat cross-legged near the fire, tapping the side of the family's old storytelling drum. Omori, a year older than Nia, had always been the more adventurous one. He often led their escapades into the nearby forest or the village's bustling market, where they'd listen to the elders' tales. But today, the rain had trapped them indoors, leaving them both longing for excitement. "Omori," Nia called softly, breaking the silence. "What are you doing?" Omori glanced at her, a sly grin spreading across his face. "I found something interesting, Nia. Come and see." Curiosity sparked in Nia's heart as she got up and padded over to her brother. Omori held a small, worn book he had found in the elder's hut the day before. Its leather cover was cracked with age, and the pages were filled with strange illustrations. Nia leaned closer, her brow furrowing as she studied the images. They depicted people in unfamiliar poses, doing things that didn't make sense to her. "What is this?" she asked, her voice tinged with unease. Omori shrugged, his grin unwavering. "I don't know, but it looks like something only adults would understand. Let's try it." Nia hesitated. Something about the images unsettled her, but Omori's excitement was contagious. Against her better judgment, she nodded. Little did they know, this small decision would set them on a path filled with confusion, pain, and ultimately, wisdom. Omori flipped through the pages with an air of confidence, his fingers tracing the faded lines of the strange illustrations. Nia sat beside him, her unease growing with every image she saw. The figures in the book didn't seem happy, their expressions were blank, almost lifeless. Unlike the vibrant stories told by their village elders, this book carried no warmth or joy. "Where did you find this?" Nia asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "In the elder's hut," Omori replied nonchalantly. "It was hidden under a pile of old scrolls. I don't think anyone's looked at it in years." "Maybe it was hidden for a reason," Nia said, her fingers nervously tugging at the hem of her tunic. "What if we're not supposed to see it?" Omori laughed, his confidence unwavering. "Don't be so serious, Nia. It's just a book. Let's try doing what they're doing. It might be fun." Nia's stomach churned. Something inside her told her this wasn't a good idea, but she didn't want to seem scared. Omori always seemed so sure of himself, and she didn't want to disappoint him. Reluctantly, she agreed. The two siblings slipped into their small sleeping hut, the book clutched tightly in Omori's hands. They laid it open on the floor, studying the illustrations closely. Omori attempted to mimic one of the poses, his movements awkward and uncertain. Nia followed hesitantly, her heart pounding in her chest. But the moment she tried, a sharp pain shot through her body. She gasped, tears springing to her eyes as she pulled away. "Omori, stop. This hurts," she cried. Omori froze, his face clouding with confusion and guilt. "I'm sorry, Nia. I didn't mean for it to hurt you. Maybe we weren't supposed to do it like that. Let's stop." Shaken and uncomfortable, Nia curled up on her sleeping mat, her thoughts racing. Why had the book made them feel this way? Why had it felt so wrong? That night, neither of them could sleep, their minds haunted by the day's events. The next morning, the rain had stopped, leaving the village glistening under the golden sunlight. Nia sat outside their hut, staring at the puddles that dotted the dirt path. She felt a heavy weight in her chest, a mix of guilt and confusion that she couldn't shake. Omari emerged from the hut, his usual confident demeanor subdued. He sat beside her, his eyes fixed on the horizon. "Nia," he began, his voice uncharacteristically soft, "I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have made us try that. I didn't think it would hurt you." Nia looked at her brother, seeing the regret in his eyes. "It's not just that it hurt, Omari. It didn't feel right. I can't stop thinking about it." Omari nodded, his shoulders slumping. "Me too. But what do we do now? We can't tell Mama and Baba. They'll be so angry." Nia's heart sank. She didn't want to disappoint their parents, but she also couldn't keep this secret bottled up inside. She needed to talk to someone who could help her make sense of her feelings. But who? As if in answer to her unspoken question, Mama Safri, the village herbalist and storyteller, appeared at the edge of the path. Her gentle smile and wise eyes always brought comfort to Nia. Maybe, just maybe, she would understand. "Good morning, little ones," Mama Safri greeted them, her voice warm and soothing. "Why do you look so troubled on such a beautiful day?" Nia hesitated, glancing at Omari. He gave her a small nod, encouraging her to speak. Taking a deep breath, Nia began to tell Mama Safri everything. And as the words spilled out, the weight on her heart began to lift, little by little. Mama Safri listened intently as Nia recounted the events of the previous day, her voice trembling with emotion. Omari chimed in occasionally, his usual confidence replaced with guilt and uncertainty. When Nia finished, she looked up at the herbalist, her eyes brimming with tears. "Mama Safri, why did it feel so wrong?" Nia asked. "Why did it hurt?" The elderly woman's face softened, and she placed a comforting hand on Nia's shoulder. "My dear child," she began, "there are things in this world that are not meant for young eyes or hearts. That book you found, it carries the weight of secrets that even many adults struggle to understand. You and Omari are still growing, still learning about the world. What you felt was your heart and body's way of telling you that something wasn't right." Omari looked down at his feet, his voice barely audible. "We didn't mean to do anything wrong. I just thought it would be interesting." "Curiosity is natural, Omari," Mama Safri said gently. "But not all knowledge is meant to be sought out so quickly. There is a time and place for everything. What matters now is that you both recognize the importance of listening to your inner voice, that feeling deep inside that tells you when something is not right." Nia's heart felt lighter, but a question lingered in her mind. "What should we do with the book?" she asked. Mama Safri's expression grew serious. "The book must be returned to the elder's hut. It was hidden for a reason, to protect the young and unprepared. I will help you both return it, and we will speak with the elders about what has happened. This is not a burden you should carry alone." Though the thought of facing the elders frightened Nia and Omari, Mama Safri's reassuring presence gave them courage. Together, they resolved to make things right and learn from their mistakes.